Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 662. Before getting into this reading, chances are most of the people watching this video are not subscribed, so if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work and would like to help support the growth of my channel, you can do so by hitting that subscribe button down below, sticking around and ringing the notification bell next to it so you don't miss an upload. My current goal is 500 subscribers so I can have access to offering channel memberships. So if you do decide to support my channel, thank you very much. So I just felt distracted because I cut this Ancestor Spirit Oracle deck in half. We have Open to Love and Shine Brightly, and the reason why this stood out to me was because in interpreting the number 662, the number 6 is about unconditional love, and I was going to start interpreting this number by saying that unconditional love, especially for yourself, is very, very much present here. There could be situations outside of yourself where you are being called to love unconditionally. Make sure you're balancing out that unconditional love outside of yourself with boundaries. Make sure you're not over giving. If anyone needs to hear it, you can love someone unconditionally from a distance. You can still be accepting and open to what they have to say, and not, constantly put up with unhealthy patterns that are hurtful to you. You have the right to protect yourself, your energy, your mind, your heart, your soul, your resources, everything that makes up who you are, who you truly are. You have the right to protect your honesty, your authenticity. Maybe there's someone here who feels hesitant to stand strong with conviction in what they believe, and there's definitely encouragement here for you to do that and to reflect on that, because I feel like part of it has to do with not knowing your worth or what you deserve. And I feel like if you truly understood your value and gave yourself permission in ways that you deserve, then it would be a lot easier to stand up for what you believe is right. Lead, I feel here, with compassion. I know at times it can be very challenging to not let the frustration slip. Don't expect yourself to be perfect, but I do think that the goal, or the ultimate goal, is to foster productive, not emotionally charged type of communication, because it's really hard to have a productive conversation when emotions are high, thoughts are firing, and just a bunch of chaotic energy. The number 2 in 662 is about balance. It's also a sign that there is something here that needs to be released to restore balance, or to create balance if you've never felt that sense of balance. This is pretty vague, so take it where it resonates or don't take it at all. I also, for some reason, I'm feeling like I want to say this is pretty dense. So maybe if this message isn't resonating, but you feel like it might, maybe watch just a little bit longer and see where it takes you. But if it doesn't resonate at all, that's completely fine. I don't want you trying to make messages fit that are not meant for you. But there is something standing in the way of you loving yourself unconditionally. There's something that you need to release that makes it easier, more tempting, speaking of the devil energy, to be self-destructive, to have negative self-talk, to judge yourself and talk to yourself in ways that you don't deserve, you know. There is an opportunity here to build a healthier, stronger relationship with yourself no matter where you are. There's something, potentially, this doesn't have to resonate for everybody, but there's something in your physical reality that is standing in the way of making it easier for you to lead a life of authenticity. And it's a reflection of something from within that's making it harder for you to be authentic. And I did see the number 33 on the timer with some zeros. And that number 33 is about communication, expression. It can also be about healing, so maybe there is some deeper healing that you can do. But 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. And 5 is about change. A transformation. This is a strong confirmation here. There is some sort of change or transformation that you can do on the inside. Maybe change the way you look at something, specifically yourself. How you feel about yourself. This reading feels very focused on self. But these inner changes potentially can manifest as external changes. Whatever you let go on the inside might come with letting go of someone or something on the outside. And it's interesting because it's like letting go of someone on the inside. I mean, I'm not talking about that in like there's someone that you still hold dearly on the inside. I'm talking about an unhealthy side of you that you need to let go. So I'm going to go ahead now and get into the Ancestor Spirit Oracle to look deeper into this unconditional love, this devilish, need more balance and change type of energy. This is going to be more so messages from your ancestors, since this is the Ancestor Spirit Oracle. Having to clear my throat a lot in this video. I don't even know why. But that really confirms here the need for clear communication. Healthy communication, of course. Productive communication. Even if you don't get the outcome that you want, especially if you want to lead, it's important to remember that you are responsible for how you are received. So make sure you are expressing your ideas, your feelings, your thoughts, your passions, whatever it is, clearly. There could be some deeper concepts here where it's tempting to talk about things in a deep way, but you might have to break something down for someone, is the best way that I can say it. Interesting. We have spirit guides, insight, guidance, and purpose. For some reason, when I saw the word purpose, I felt something here about Portuguese. So the Portuguese language could be significant for you, or you could have Portuguese ancestors coming through. Whether or not you are from Portugal. I feel like in terms of the ancestors, you'll know. You should know. But hey, it's your reading, your intuition. Take it however it resonates. I just think it's very interesting that we have this general energy here of your spirit guide. So it's not just your ancestors that are present. It's also the universe, angels if you believe in them, or whatever you believe in. Spiritually, the spirit world is very much present. And it's interesting because whenever I did the reading yesterday, the first reading that I did with this spread with the Ancestor Spirit Oracle and a channel card that we're going to pull later, that there was a strong spiritual energy there, a strong spiritual ancestral, well, spiritual including ancestral. There's just a strong spiritual energy here in general for everybody watching this. Your ancestors are really trying to connect with you, maybe about history. Like I think they're trying to help you make a difference in some way. Insight. Oh, that's so interesting, because earlier I was going to say something, and you might have heard it. I accidentally said insight instead of something else. So that really confirms what I felt earlier, but I don't think I mentioned that there is definitely some insight here that you could gain or that you already have and need to take advantage of. If you don't know what insight I'm talking about, reflect, think about it, dig deep for it. But if you do know what I'm talking about, you still need to reflect, but rather than on what the insight is, but what's holding you back from embracing that insight. And it's so interesting because I just saw number 10 on the timer. Surrounded by a bunch of zeros. A number like this came through on the timer in the reading yesterday, which is just a slight reminder, and for this reading, a confirmation that your spirit guides are near. They're trying to communicate with you. They want to help you. They want to support you. They just really, really want to be connected with you. I just got distracted by a dog running outside behind the fence. There's a window that I can see out of. To me, dogs can represent a couple things. The first one is loyalty, the most obvious one. And the second one is whenever I hear a dog bark, that means that your spirit guides are trying to bring your attention to something. This dog didn't bark, but since I'm talking about it, I do feel here that your ancestors, your spirit guides, the spirit world is loyal to you. Well, I almost want to say that the spirit world, I don't know, it's complicated. In terms of, let's say in terms of communication, your spirit guides are as committed to you as you are to them. You can only see signs and messages if you're receptive to it. So if you're not seeing the signs and the messages that I'm talking about, either this is not your message, or two, you're not allowing yourself to trust yourself, your intuition, to believe in the signs. Maybe you have your doubts. You need to look deeper into that. This is just confirmation for someone who may be having doubts that yes, the universe, your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you, so pay attention to signs, numbers, synchronicities, symbols, however you feel called to communicate with the universe. It's important to remember that when it comes to signs and what numbers means and stuff like that, for everybody who are into the spiritual stuff, it's going to mean something different for everybody. The number one is about trusting yourself for me, but it's going to be something different for another reader that you might watch. That's not a specific message, but it might be a little bit of a coincidence. But yeah, the universe communicates with you in whatever way you put meaning to. So if the number one for me is about trusting myself, but yours is like maybe an emoji or something having your fingers crossed together, whenever the universe needs me to trust myself, I'm going to see the number one. Whenever the universe, your spirit guides, need you to trust yourself, you're going to see that emoji. So don't worry too much about seeking the meaning of signs and symbols and numbers from other people and other sources. You definitely can. I do that. But there's no pressure to do that. You can make up your own meanings. So whatever you put meaning to, remember that. What does a feather mean to you? What does that number mean to you? And if you see a repeating sign or symbol or number, that might be the universe and your spirit guides trying to guide you to put meaning to that number or that symbol, because they want to communicate with you through that number or that symbol or whatever it is. So know that while you're trying to embrace a deeper sense of, while you're trying to create a stronger relationship with yourself and protect yourself from people, places, things, opportunities that you don't deserve, know that you don't have to do it alone. The universe, your spirit guides are always there. Your ancestors are always there, so don't be afraid to communicate with them, or maybe even explore your own ways of communication, whether it's through cards, signs. There's probably a million other different ways you could do it out there. So just know that when it comes to spirituality, it's very different for everybody. And that's why I love it, because I feel like it bridges the gap between the religious and the non-religious, because I believe religion and spirituality are not the same thing. I don't know, religion can be spiritual, but spirituality cannot be religious. That's the way that I look at it, because spiritually you do believe in a higher power, but you believe that your power, you are your own savior, not that the universe is your savior, or God, or whoever, whatever you believe in. It's more about your soul, not so much about where your soul came from. I don't know. It's hard to put into words because, like, it can be about that too, about where your soul comes from, what you believe in. It really depends. Just know that whatever you believe, it's very personal to you, and you don't need validation from others to have a belief. Unless they can show you facts and receipts and whatnot. Do your own thing. It's okay. Don't worry about the judgments of other people. I'm seeing the number 15 on the timer with the zeros around it, which is confirmation of a devilish, unhealthy attachment type of energy. So maybe, I just felt something here about groupthink. Maybe there are people here who are trying to push their beliefs onto you, or they judge you based on how you express yourself spiritually. And you need to learn how to protect yourself from that by letting go of being attached to those people's opinions, or just really trust yourself and believe in your own decisions, because at the end of the day you're going to be on the receiving end of whatever consequences you have as a result of your own decisions. And if you believe that making decisions based on what those people say are not going to be good for you, it's going to lead you to somewhere unhappy, trust yourself. No one can tell you what makes you happy. I mean, someone can say, well, like, if you're depressed, you're not happy. Like, we do have, I don't know, happiness it's a very subjective thing, but I do believe that there is an objective happiness. I think happiness is just another word for peace, and that we all can achieve happiness or peace by finding closure from within and ultimately releasing things outside of ourselves that enabled whatever made us need to find closure in the first place. Let me think. Forgot what I was talking about. So I'm going to trust that happens for a reason. It happens for me from time to time because I have ADHD. Literally, I'll be in a conversation and I'll completely forget what we're talking about. But when it comes to readings, I do believe that it happens for a reason, and that's all that I was meant to say. So this card also says guidance. I already told you, make sure you're following your guidance. Pay attention to the messages in this reading if it resonates. And with purpose here, this is just a little bit of a reminder where it says purpose right here, that whether or not you see your own purpose, your spirit guides do. And they're always going to be there to support you in that. To support you in understanding what your experiences, your childhood, whatever, were supposed to give you to help you make a difference in some way or express yourself as an adult or later down the line, depending on how old you are. But I'm going to start finishing up this reading. This bird is really sticking out to me for some reason. I know I've been on this card for a minute. I think that's a an eagle. I'm not sure. But birds can also symbolize the presence of a spiritual being. I've always known that cardinals, red cardinals, I don't know if there's any other color, but they can represent a past ancestor. So if you do see cardinals, that could be an ancestor visiting you. But this bird can resonate in other ways if it does, and it doesn't have to resonate at all. But let's go ahead and draw a card from this box of cards. I don't know if I already showed you cards that I made myself, if I didn't already say. Oh, I love this question. Oh my gosh. So we have, what is your ultimate dream, with the number 70? And there's nothing on the back side of that card. So this brings me back to what I was talking about with your purpose. What do you dream about? What do you wish for? What makes your soul light up? What brings you so much joy and fulfillment? And then go after it. All of us have many different desires, many dreams, but we all have that one desire or that one dream that we want the most. So I feel like it's important for you to identify that for yourself. What do you deeply desire the most? And, this could be in many different contexts. It could be like, what do you deeply desire in your relationships? What do you deeply desire at work? What do you deeply desire for life overall? It's like, lead your life with desire, but don't make it like, I don't know if this is the right phrase, but like the end all be all type of thing. Don't make your desires trump everything else, because that's when we start to get into that unhealthy, devilish, unhealthy attachment type of energy. Leading life with desire only becomes unhealthy when we refuse to acknowledge when our desire isn't what we need to lead with right now. It's like the ultimate goal in life is to have what we desire, but along the way we're going to have to make sacrifices and let go of things that we don't desire, so that way long term we can have what we desire. So maybe there is something here that you love doing, but it doesn't really work for your ultimate goal, and you're being encouraged to make temporary sacrifices. And if something is holding you back from doing that, it doesn't have to stay that way. You got to reflect and ask yourself, why is it so dang hard for me to do this? Why? I mean, I do feel like it is related to the devil, not like in the biblical sense, more in the tarot symbolic sense. Why is it hard for me to not be attached to something that doesn't work for me long term? Why can't I just let it go for now? That's an important thing to acknowledge. It's only for now, it's only temporary. So what's holding you back? Maybe it has something to do with not fully recognizing what you deserve, or not fully recognizing your strength and how powerful your mind actually is. I'm willing to bet that it's hard for you to not be attached, because there's a certain way you're looking at things that reinforce that attachment. So it's important for you to change the way you look at things, so that way you can change the nature of the attachment, whether it exists or not. But I thought it was interesting to see the number 70, because 7 plus 0 is 7, and 7 is about wisdom. It also brings me right back to what I said about insight. What's really being highlighted with this spirit guides card is purpose and insight. Your spirit guides, your ancestors especially, want to help you with gaining wisdom, gaining awareness, especially when it comes to your purpose and what you are meant to do in this life in a way that not only serves you, but also the highest good of all. And your purpose is not going to be something that feels like a chore, or that you just have to exert all this energy and it's for nothing. Of course, it may take a lot of work, but it shouldn't feel like it's for nothing. Maybe it's time for someone here to rethink about what their purpose could be. Do you feel like you're where you truly deserve to be in life? Do you feel like you're where you feel called, or at least headed in the direction where you feel called? The only person who can answer that is you. So in terms of the insight, I feel your spirit guides, especially your ancestors, really, really want you to spend more time reflecting and healing, and letting there is something here that needs to be further worked through or released that might result in something else outside of you experiencing more change, whether it's more release or more growth, more decay, whatever. Embrace that hermit energy, reflect. And it's funny I said hermit, because the hermit card does have the number 9 on it, and the number 9 for me is all about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. So think deeply about your purpose, because it exists, whether it's from some giant cosmic reason or not. You are doing what you're doing for a reason. So make sure your reasons align with your values, who you are, and what you believe is right. Is there anything else that I can get from this? I just think this is wild, because it's very clear, like dreams, purpose, insight. If you do have dreams and wishes, know that the first step to making that happen is reflecting, gaining insight, making a plan, understanding where you are now truly, so you can figure out how to get to where you want to be. So, yeah, the biggest message here is to reflect, heal, and allow yourself to learn.